Hasn't been 15 years, but it's been almost 12 years since a very important cultural event happened, Jay. Do you remember what that was?
Star Wars was sold.
Star Wars was sold. George Lucas signed on that bottom line and signed not only his company away, but also his soul. And Disney got the rights to Lucasfilm and all Lucasfilm properties, including Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy has overseen it for nearly a dozen years of Disney Star Wars failures. But if we're to believe a new report, Jay, despite all the agenda-driven things we've seen happen in the Star Wars universe, or in something like Indiana Jones, or in something like Willow, all from Lucasfilm over the past couple years, Kathleen Kennedy, she's not down with the woke agenda, and you should really stop blaming her for it. Star Wars boss Kathleen Kennedy is not a woke warrior at Disney, according to a new report. After Daisy Ridley was cast as the lead in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and other female actresses like Rosario Dawson and Natasha Liu Bordizzo played prominent roles in Disney+, some fans claim Kennedy was pushing a political agenda. This later led to Lucasfilm boss being described by that sect as woke. Yes, that was it. It was just that Daisy Ridley and two other random women were cast in a dozen years. That's all. Nothing else. Those are the only things that had people being critical of Kathleen Kennedy. The popular adult animated series South Park even released a special that featured Kennedy in a satirical manner as the face of the woke community, making decisions to pander to everyone.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
But according to this, Jay, it's just not her fault. She has to be convinced to do these things. This is from Matthew Bologna on his podcast, The Town.
Baloney?
Bologna, yes. But Kathleen Kennedy is not. That whole South Park thing was funny, but it wasn't accurate.
Fuck baby Jim, put a chick in it, make her gay.
Within Disney, she's not known as the woke warrior. She kind of has to be convinced, from everything I've been told. She kind of has to be convinced to do this stuff.
And if you're going to keep things from me, then you'd better put a chick in it and make it fucking gay as fuck.
And there's still never been a female director of a Star Wars movie. I'm very critical of Kathleen Kennedy, but I don't think she's gone overboard on the diversity stuff.
It means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking gay.
What's your takeaway from that, Jay? How do you respond?
This is major damage control. After the South Park episode, they were like, once we release the Acolyte, everything will be fine. They released the trailer, got ratioed to heck and back. There's no interest anymore. People are starting to point fingers. They're looking at all the failures that happened. Look, Indiana Jones, Forbes comes out. I think it was Forbes. They were like, man, that movie did actually lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
Fuck Indiana Jones. Put a chick in it and make her name it gay.
Freaking Willow was nuked off existence because it was so bad. They were involved in the Star Wars hotel. That didn't even last a year. That was gone. You know, the drum just keeps beating. So if she has to be forced, right? The High Republic series was nothing more than a breeding grounds for activists to dump everything possible they can into Star Wars, right? You remember these guys? Star Wars confirmed that these two Jedi Knights are trans. Actually, they're actually trans non-binary. And that's just one. They also confirmed that there were many characters that were asexual, that were gay, that were this, that were that. So they put all their sexuality characters together in the High Republic. Oh, also in the High Republic, if people missed this one, The Young Jedi Adventures, a cartoon series for kindergarten, first grade for kids. They add LGBTQ diversity into the universe. So they have two moms that were moms of a Jedi. Also, we can even go to their theme parks. There's Galaxy's Edge, right? That's the Star Wars land. Well, the star of Galaxy's Edge is no one, is this person right here. Does anybody even know who this person is in Star Wars? This is V. She roams around Galaxy's Edge. She's a spy for Leia, apparently, or whoever. And you can run into her and talk to her. So there she is. She's also has her own book. So that's the star of the Star Wars land.
Is her codename the Black Spire?
That's the name of the book.
Well, because she's black and she's a spy for Leia.
Actually,
is she the Black Spire? Is that how that thing got its name?
Black Spire is the store.
I know it is Black Spire Outpost. It's just ironic that the black woman who happens to be a spy also hangs out there. That's all I'm saying.
That's just what they do. Anyway, that's my take. I'm like, if she has to be convinced for all that, and listen, it's been proven a million times over that Kathleen Kennedy made huge changes to the Star Wars land at the theme parks. The original guy that was making it was on a podcast, and he just said, "Well, we were doing Tatooine, and we were going to have something for the prequels, the originals, the sequels." But Kathleen Kennedy changed all of that.
I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay.
That's kind of laughable with everything we've seen and all the virtue signaling we've seen from this company over the past several years. And they haven't even had a female Star Wars director yet to do a movie. First of all, there haven't been a fucking ton of movies, right? You had the three in the
Rian
sequels,
Johnson,
and then you had Solo, and you had Rogue One. That's it. So it's not like they're pumping out a bunch of Star Wars movies. Not for lack of trying. Patty Jenkins was there, then she was gone. Now apparently she's back again. They've got the bitch who's doing the Rey movie. But it's weird how they just don't count any of the Disney Plus series and people who are directors or working on those shows. People that are either showrunners or producing or directing those shows. Those don't count when you're talking about women being involved in Star Wars. It's certainly not a one-person operation to make Lucasfilm a woke cesspool. Kathleen Kennedy is in charge of it. She hires and promotes people that reflect her ideology, the ideology that she wants. I do think sometimes that people have gone a little bit overboard where just because they might like Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni, they see a line or they see a character, something like that pops up in Mando season 2 or season 3, and they're like, oh, I bet that was KK. She made them put that in there. No, they just happen to have the same ideology and they're working around the same frame point. They work for that person. But the idea that she's not, that she doesn't want to push for that, she has to be convinced to do all these things to promote diversity and identity politics. That is just laughably stupid.
Look, I don't want to have to say it, but I think the problem is Kathleen Kennedy.